Interesting article today that I wanted to share in relation to the martial arts. Alright, so the title of the article is Thousands in Spain, Madrid Call for Bullfighting Ban. Protest part of a growing animal rights movement that has prompted local authorities to crack down on the tradition. Thousands of people have rallied in the Spanish capital Madrid to call for a ban on bullfighting, adding their voices to a growing animal rights movement that has prompted some administrations to clamp down on the centuries-old tradition. PAC-MA, a Spanish political party that promotes animal rights, said that Saturday's rally was the biggest protest yet against the gory sport, in which a matador brandishing a sword and cape battles a bull in an effort to kill the animal as a public spectacle. It's time to end bullfighting and all other bloody spectacles, a PAC-MA spokesman said at the rally. The Madrid protesters held up banners that read "Bullfighting, the school of cruelty," and "Bullfighting, a national shame. Bulls feel and they suffer," said Carlo Martin Pozo, a demonstrator from the city of Seville who had come to Madrid for the rally. "Bullfights are a national shame, and if they represent me, then I'm not Spanish," she said. Surveys show public support for bullfighting has waned in recent decades in Spain. An Ipsos Mori poll from January carried out for animal welfare organization World Animal Protection found that only 19% of adults in Spain supported bullfighting, while 58% opposed it. Bullfighting events in which audiences watch matadors with red capes and swords confront bulls at close range are still common in Spain, and the practice retains a loyal following across the country. But the opposition to the sport is also gaining force, and each year there has been a decline in the number of bullfights. "We don't want Spaniards to be identified with bullfighting. This is not our national fiesta," Marie Paz Rojo said as she marched through the capital with thousands of other demonstrators. Politically, the issue has been decisive. Spain's parliament, under the center-right government of the People's Party, moved to protect bullfighting in 2013, declaring it a cultural asset, enabling it to draw on public funding. But some regions have cracked down on elements of the festivals, including Northeastern, which banned bullfighting outright in 2011. Madrid's leftist mayor, who took over the city council last year, has withdrawn subsidies for bullfighting schools. This year, for the first time, participants in one of Spain's most controversial festivals, known as the Toro de la Vega, Bull of the Plain, will not be allowed to kill the bull. In June, the country's anti-bullfighting lobby successfully managed to obtain a ban on a famous Toro de la Vega festival that ended with the bull being speared to death in the region of Castilla y León. Meanwhile, Valencia, Spain's third-largest city, has banned the tradition of setting bulls loose with lighted torches attached to the horns, called boas and balats. Spain's first pro-bullfight lobbying group, the Bull Foundation, made up of breeders, matadors, and aficionados, was set up last year. A number of protest rallies in favor of the controversial pastime has been held recently, such as one in the eastern city of Valencia, a major bullfighting city, which drew thousands of people in March. Okay, that's the end of the article. Alright, so I think this is very relevant. I just want to share the article because that's exactly how I feel about cage fighting. You know, I feel that it should be banned. I feel that it is a violent sport and it should be stopped. You know, and bullfighting in Spain has become a tradition. It looks like it's been decades old, and it just shows that there's hope for America. You know, if Spain could stop bullfighting and protest against it because it's not right, because it's too violent, then America essentially could do the same thing. You know, they could come to the realization that this is too violent. This is not what we need as a country. This is not what, you know, fathers have to do or mothers have to do. This is not something that children have to do. And this is not something that we should be proud about. This is something that, you know, just like they said, is a national shame. And I just see that there is hope. It takes, sometimes it takes time for people to realize certain things, and I think Spain is heading in a good direction, and the government is just basically, they're gonna do what the public wants. The public thinks it's too violent, then the government's gonna start cracking down on it. The government's kind of here to serve the people, and if more and more people complain and say that, hey, this is something that's really violent and this is not something that we should allow, then the government will they'll ban it. And once the government bans it, it's not going to exist anymore. People will find something else to put the time and money into. The government has a huge influence on the way the society is structured. Because the government, if they decide to ban guns, then it makes a difference. If they decide to ban swords, then it makes a huge difference. If the government decides to ban motorcycles, then that's going to make a difference. The government bans weed, that makes a difference. The government can try to ban alcohol. Everything the government decides to do makes a huge difference in how the society will develop as a whole. And sooner or later, the government could start cracking down on the cage fighting, be like, you know what, this is not good for us, and we need to stop doing this. And then that'll be the end of that. And then people will start heading towards more of a peaceful expression in the martial arts. Just like the government, they banned steroids. So recently there's been a bunch of cage fighters that have been caught with steroids. And then they caught a bunch of Russian athletes in the Olympics with steroids. They caught Lance Armstrong with steroids. They caught a lot of those baseball players with steroids. They've caught some football players with steroids. And they're cracking down on the steroid users, and that makes a difference. So the people and the government need to step up in order to make these sort of changes. But I just wanted to share the article because it just shows that there is hope. It might not happen now, it might not happen tomorrow, or 5 years from now, or 10 years from now, but sooner or later down in the line, they might start to realize that this is not good for the society, and this is something that we should stop. Just like when ancient Rome used to have the gladiators fighting to death, they don't do that anymore. And there came a time when they decided that to stop it. So there should come a time when they start to see that this cage fighting is just not something that is going to be good for America. And then it'll be time to stop it.